the yeast of the heart. The sun bleeds over the jagged skyline of Oakhaven, a city of iron and velvet. Down in the Salt District, the air is thick with the scent of brine and wood smoke. Marcella stands at her stall, her sleeves rolled to her elbows. She is a flurry of motion, stacking heavy golden bowls of sourdough that are still steaming in the damp morning air. Her hands are calloused, and her brow is smudged with flour, the war paint of a woman who has known nothing but the heat of an oven since dawn. The rhythm of her work is a symphony of survival. Marcella doesn't just sell bread, she breathes life into it. She handles the loaves with a mixture of reverence and efficiency, her eyes scanning the crowd for the regulars who depend on her for their daily sustenance. While the city sleeps in silk sheets, she has already fought the fire and won. Her world is small, the radius of her stall, but she is the undisputed queen of this flower-dusted kingdom. Low-angle shot. From the direction of the high docks, a figure cuts through the gray haze of the market like a blade of polished silver. Caspian moves with an effortless grace that suggests he has never had to dodge a puddle in his life. His coat is the color of a midnight sea, tailored so perfectly it makes the surrounding architecture look crooked. He stops, not because he is lost, but because the scent of toasted rye has anchored him in place, pulling him toward the humblest stall in the district. Medium shot. Their worlds collide over a simple crust. Marcella looks up, a sharp retort about the price of wheat dying on her lips as she meets Caspian's gaze. He is out of place, a creature of glass and gold standing in the mud, yet he holds her stare with a curiosity that isn't patronizing. He reaches for a baguette, his clean, manicured hand momentarily hovering near her flour-stained fingers. The air between them crackles, more charged than the heat of the bakery. Over-the-shoulder shot. "It's still warm," Marcella says, her voice steadier than her heart. Caspian breaks off a piece, the crunch echoing in the sudden silence of their shared space. He doesn't look at the bread. He looks at her, seeing the smudge of soot on her cheek and the fire in her eyes. "I've spent my life buying the most expensive things in Oakhaven," he remarks softly, "and yet I think I've been starving until this moment." Days turn into a recurring dream. Every afternoon, as the shadows lengthen across the cobblestones, Caspian returns. He stands among the laborers and the fishmongers, waiting his turn like any other customer. Marcella finds herself saving the best bakes for him, the loaves with the darkest crust and the softest centers. She watches him from afar, wondering why a man who owns the sky is so interested in the earth she inhabits. One evening, as the market bells toll the end of trade, Caspian doesn't reach for bread. Instead, he produces an invitation, the paper thick and cream-colored, embossed with a crest she recognizes from the carriages that splash her stall with mud. "The Solstice Gala," he says, his voice a low vibration. "I don't want to dance with a debutante, Marcella. I want to dance with the woman who knows the weight of a hard day's work." High-angle shot. The transition is jarring. Marcella stands in the foyer of Caspian's estate, her reflection caught in a dozen gilded mirrors. She is no longer covered in flour, but in silk the color of a winter peach. She feels like a fraud until she catches sight of her own hands, the same hands that kneaded the dough and stoked the coals. She realizes then that the silk doesn't make her. She makes the silk look like it has a purpose. In the moonlit privacy of the hedge maze, far from the prying eyes of the aristocracy, Caspian finds her. He doesn't see a bread seller or a transformed lady. He sees the woman who challenged the world every morning at dawn. He drops to one knee, the gravel crunching beneath him, a sound far more honest than the music inside. "Build a life with me, Marcella," he whispers, "not because I can give you everything, but because you are the only thing I truly need." The bells of the great cathedral ring out, but the celebration that follows is held in the Salt District. Marcella and Caspian walk through a rain of flower petals and toasted grain. They move between two worlds now, anchored by a love that is as essential as water and as enduring as stone. The bread seller has her prince, but more importantly, the city has a new kind of royalty, one that knows the value of the hands that feed the world.